Live from YMSL Studios. Welcome to the Week 4 Dougless Report. I'm your host, Bobby Moravia, with, as usual, NRJ to my left. And NRJ, another week under the down the drain. And we're going to start off with your game. Before we even had time to open the coolers on Sunday, your team was out to 5-0 lead. And tell us exactly what happened.
Well, first of all, it's crazy how quick the season is going.
Thank God for good weather.
Thank God for good weather. This week looks very iffy, so hopefully we get good weather again. But yeah, something my team spoke about is we usually get off to slow starts. So we said we really want to jump out on top and go from there. So in the first inning, we scored 5 runs. Carlos and Sonny got on at top of the lineup, and then we just went from there. Everybody was hitting doubles, triples, a bunch of extra base hits. And we got off to a 5-0 inning. The last out of that inning was my brother Joseph, and he ripped the ball down the left field line, would have scored 2 more runs. Guy made the catch in left field, Stephen Safdie, and that's how the inning ended. We then we got 1 hit the next 3 or 4 innings. We just totally went to sleep. We took our foot off the gas, which is exactly what the team the week before did.
Yeah.
You know, we played against the Hustle team.
Yeah.
They were down 5-0 2 games in a row. You know.
I think that's also a YMSL record. We checked the archives.
Is it?
Consecutive 5-0 deficits to win the game.
In the first inning, 5-0.
Yeah. So
crazy.
Back.
And it's not like we were popping up or just flying out lazy fly balls. We were hitting the ball on the ground. Big Soli made maybe 15 putouts in this game. I know Marty has the book. He could look it up exactly where every ball went, but it just seemed every time we had men on, we'd hit a hard ground at a third. Soli would touch third, throw to first. It was a lot of plays like that, a lot of ground outs, and just very frustrating. As a catcher, I was sitting there. I heard them on the in their dugout, and down 5-0. They had a very calm approach. They were just saying, all we want to do is score 2 runs right now. Just to get it to 5-2. Then it's a different ball game. Sure enough, they did that. And then there was 1 inning where we just, everything that could go wrong went wrong. Everything you could imagine. They scored 8 runs to take a 10-5 lead. And it was, every hit that they had was 3 feet out of reach for us, you know? And then we'd make an error.
Stephen Safdie's home run could have been one of the longest.
Stephen Safdie did rock a ball. He connected a ball amid all of this. You know, he's a great hitter. He's a great power hitter and a good guy. Runs around the bases quickly.
Yeah.
You know,
third home run in 2 weeks.
Third home run in 2 weeks. All rockets. Yeah. Doesn't show up the pitcher or anything. Just puts his head down, runs, and doesn't brag about it or anything. You know, he's a great guy. And but that was the highlight of their inning. And just a bunch of mental mistakes and a bunch of physical mistakes and everything. And I give them credit. They stayed in the game. They did not panic at 5-0, and they left us at 5 runs.
So what inning was the 8-run inning?
The 8-run inning was like, I would say it was in the 5th inning or something like that. Late, later in the game.
Took the sails out. But anyway, so you lost 10-5. Now what happened in between games that you guys talked about the rebound? Because it's a tough way to lose when you have a 5-0.
Yes. We immediately huddled. We went near the Canadian flag, which is always an inspiration for all of us from Canada. And we just said, listen, we all know what just happened. We let a game get away from us. Not to take anything away from the other team. They came back. But we had a 5-0 lead.
5-0 lead, you usually think you're going to win.
And someone said something in the huddle, and it's absolutely true. No matter how many runs you score in the first inning, if you only score in the first inning, you're not going to win a game. It's very, very rare a run is going to hold up. Even if you score 7 runs right away, you have to add on even a little bit here and there.
I think teams get complacent after they score 7. They think they have it in the bag, and then before you know it.
And we kept saying we're not going to be complacent. Yeah. We kept saying let's tack on, and we couldn't do it.
Right.
You know, credit Mavora, credit all of them. They played well after that inning. And so in between games, we said, listen, we let a game get away, but at this point, we can't cry about it. We have to get a split. We can't get swept now. Got to get a split out of this. And big part early in that game was 0-0 ball game. They had bases loaded in the first inning with 1 out. Big Soli up. He's very injured, by the way. He can't run at all. As good as he could field, he can't move 2 feet. He hit a ground ball straight to Mikey for a 1-2-3 double play to get us out of that inning. We scored 3-4 runs the next inning.
Oh.
And this time we added on a little bit, a run here, a run there. We ended up winning, I think it was 6-2 or something like that. Or 9-3. I don't know. I forgot what it was. But that was a much better game for us.
So we had big days offensively for your team.
Big days offensively for us.
Lee's always usually there for a couple of big hits, and he's having a sensational year.
You know what? Lee's having a great year. A lot of intentional walks to alley, and Lee gets a hit every time. Every time after the walk to alley. Now, we were up in this game 4-1, and we had an inning where the bottom of the order got a couple of guys on, and now it got to the point where Sonny Shalom was up in a long at bat. He drew a walk. So now his bases loaded with 2 outs in a 4-1 game. Now, we just experienced last game where they came back, so we're really hoping to tack on a couple of runs. Alley comes up, rips a base hit to make it 6-1. That was the big hit of that game. That gave us separation, and then we cruised from there. Mikey was on target. He had a little bit more walks than he wants to have. He's been very, very good under control this year with the walks, but he was hitting the strike zone beautifully. And, we just cruised from there. We just regret that we let game 1 get away from us.
Moni Abadi rebounded after a rough week against Jeffrey Sack. He had a couple of hits.
So
Moni
knows, he knows Mavora. He's faced him in other leagues, in the night league, this and that. He's never faced Jeffrey Saka before last week, so he doesn't know about that riser that Jeffrey Saka has.
And how's his defense been?
His defense has been okay. It's been okay. I mean, nobody had a perfect day yesterday or Sunday, whatever it was. But he's solid at third base. We're not worried about his D.
Right. So, all right, you guys have the split. And the hustle, it's like maybe the second year in a row they split every week. I think it's like 11 weeks running. Yeah, but with that, so
the thing with them is you cannot count them out of a game.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It's amazing. But you look at their lineup. We didn't think so highly of that team going into the year, but now with Steven Safdie becoming like probably the most feared right-handed hitter in the league, and Big Sawley and Mavora, and all of a sudden you got some hitters on that team, and it's
They do have an issue with Big Sawley being injured. He had to bat lefty one at bat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they may have to drop him in the lineup or something because he's really, really hurt. Mavora claims he's also hurt, but that was after the 5-run inning, so who knows what the story is with that.
It's funny, he made the same claim last start.
Yeah, exactly.
Played left field.
Yeah, he somehow was able to recover.
Robert Red was not in the bullpen?
Robert Red was not there.
Oh, he was there.
He was not at the ball game. I guess he was. I don't know if he was sent down. I don't know what the story was, but Robert Red did not attend.
Well, there was rumors that Robert Red was going to be wearing Canadian red.
I got to give credit to Jack Jamal. He called me a few days before the game, and he said, "Listen, I know Mikey might be hurt. If you need Red to pitch, take him. He's yours." Yeah. So he's willing to give up his own teammate to pitch just to have a good, clean, fair game, but
that or they want to hit against Red.
One or the other,
gamesmanship, so
it could be, but
so Red just decided to take hiatus. Who knows? Could be in Philly or LaGuardia. Who knows where he was? So you guys, you're gonna have you to split. Now you're 4-2.
We're 4-2.
Third place with
All In.
With All In.
We face him this week. All In. So I'm sure
it should be a great matchup. So. And Hustle's 4-4, right? Right.
Hustle's a good team. Their D is on the infield is very strong. Their outfield D is not great. Yeah. They recognize that. Mavora gave up a lot of blue base hits that maybe other outfielders would have caught. Right field's an issue for them. They made a couple of changes. They had Albert Levy, who I believe is batting like 600 this year or something. Yeah. But they took him out after the first inning on defense. It was a Reggie Jackson moment. It wasn't in the middle of the inning where they pulled him and embarrassed him in the middle of the field, but after the first inning, they took him out. They put Avi Dweck in there. It's definitely an issue for them.
Problem also, Avi misplayed a ball.
Avi misplayed a couple of balls. Their outfield is not that strong.
Yeah.
Who do they have? They have Leo. Leo's good in center.
But he doesn't have the coverage that Andy Cohen or JT has.
Right.
He's good. And Steven Safdie's good in left. But no clear-cut center fielder.
No clear-cut center fielder. Steven Safdie's good in left. I wouldn't call him a great left fielder, His bat makes up for it, but defensively he's good.
So a lot of balls that are in the gap are going to fall in.
Gappers, bloopers, misplays. Yeah. So as much as we all want to hammer Mavora, he did give up a bunch of runs.
I've watched a couple of games of Mavora. His defense has been letting him down.
Yeah.
Even the infield. But like you said, Big Sawley's injury doesn't... get better soon. and they have a couple of weeks till the bye week. It could be an issue.
Yeah, he was so good defensively because we hit a ton of balls there, but
I guess he doesn't have to move either.
I guess
way.
his range, yeah, and but his offense was, it's not, you see he's in pain every time he swings the bat.
What, did they move him down the order? Or
I think they did in game 2, and I think they may have to move him down lower.
So what happens if he hits the ball? He just can't physically make it to first, or was it?
He's the one that hit that ground ball double play.
Right,
he moved 2 feet out of the box. You really can't move.
So I wonder if he got to hit the left field.
He ripped the ball to the left center gap. It was a single.
Oh.
Yeah, anyone else would have a double easily.
Wow.
Yeah, he really can't move.
So that could be a problem. I mean, your second round pick and a great hitter. So
yeah.
But so they're right in the mix now. The big matchup was in Memorial 2.
Yes.
Which we had the 4-0 Bears coming off a bye week against 5-1
Exit 105.
Exit 105. Exit 105 coming in a 5-game winning streak, so somebody was going to give
something had to give.
Something had to give. Now you had Max Shadid and Nemi. Now the big question we all have now with Exit 105 with the Bears is their pitching situation.
Yeah.
Obviously, their offense is well known. Their defense is great, but their question mark is can Nemi stay healthy? The good news is he stayed healthy. He pitched both games today,
right.
Which is, on Sunday rather.
I think it's the first time all year that he's pitched both games.
Yeah, that he's been able to make it through the 2 games. The first game was a great game. The Bears were ahead most of the game, 4-2 lead, a couple of big hits. Eddie Michon had a couple of big hits as usual, the same guys.
Eddie Michon and Eddie Rishti, both of them keep on hitting.
Yeah.
Every week we talk about the same players.
So they had a 4-2 lead going into the bottom of the 6th, and Exit 105 was just sticking around. They dodged a couple of bullets, got out of a couple of bases loaded situations, which kept the game close. And then the defense fell apart a little bit for the Bears in the bottom of the 6th. A couple of errors. Charles Saka made a couple of errors, and Robert Braha made a big error. And it was also, as usual, what's a YMSL game without controversy?
Yeah.
And what's a YMSL game without Eddie Michon being involved in controversy?
Okay, interesting. Sometimes he's right, sometimes he's wrong.
Yeah, and even when he's wrong, he sounds right.
Right.
Because he knows more than the umpires.
Right.
So there was first and third, I believe, with 2 outs, and there was Eli Batesh hit a dribbler between Nemi and Eddie Rishti. And actually, no, I'm sorry, it was a runner on second. So it was first and second. He had a dribbler between
to shortstop. Right?
Yeah, to the left of Nemi. Like it was like a it was not I wouldn't say it was a ground. It was like a squibbler dribbler, like right past Nemi to short.
Okay.
So the runners that with 2 outs were running anyway, and it was contact definitely with Eddie Rishti and the runner Ezra Sakal. But there was no way they were getting Eli Batesh. He's already halfway down to first when he swings, and and the runner is already there. I mean, it had no bearing on but he might have made contact. So, Eddie Michon, of course, explaining to the umpires, you're not allowed to do this. And the umpires, 2 rookie umpires, had no clue what he was talking about. So.
So what was the call? There was no call on the field.
Well, no, actually. There was the home plate umpire pleaded the 5th, didn't see anything. This is the same umpire who had, remember the dog episode.
Really? Okay. Yeah. We have to categorize these umpires. Each one has been involved in something.
And his way of, rectifying that dog situation was, Bobby, I don't know what to do. You make the call.
Right.
I'm not the umpire. I don't make calls like that. He goes, I don't know what to tell you. And so he says, I didn't see nothing. I don't know nothing. So the other umpire was going to call it the interference, but he said it had no bearing on the play. Now, mind you, this same umpire was working the game last week with you with the appeal.
Right, he's a good umpire. That guy usually,
but he's only 2nd year umping, so he's like a little raw. But I guess he didn't want to be in controversy 2 weeks in a row.
Right.
He was still like he was the one not the one who made the appeal, but the one who they tried to get help from.
Right.
He wanted no part of it 2 weeks in a row. So he basically said, I don't know, I would have called it, but I didn't call it, it had no bearing on the play. And Eddie Michon did not want to hear that. It had no bearing on the play. It's not his decision to make if it had no bearing. either is or it isn't.
The question is, what's the rule? If you interfere but it had no bearing, is it still interference?
You
I don't
know,
know the rule.
I guess it's technically the same thing as the sacrifice fly. You know, if there was no play to play, but the guy left early.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, they didn't call it. They left the runners on. Nathan Tal got a.
Well, if it really had no bearing on the play, then really the no call seems like the right call to not make a call.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they call interference. The other team's going crazy that it had no bearing on the play.
That's what I say. I say, like, if it had no bearing on it, whether it's the right call or not, it did not. He was not getting the runner out at first, regardless. There's no way he was getting him out, and they even admitted that they wasn't getting him out. So you know, at least there was none of that situation. But anyway. Big hit. Nathan Tal got a hit right after that to tie the game up, and then actually the big hit was Ezra Sakal, who was hitting about $120 on the year, very light hitter. Smoked a triple over Jake Dweck's head. I mean, granted he was playing shallow, but he really he smoked a 2-run triple. So they ended up taking the lead 6-4, and they ended up winning the game 6-4. And,
handing Bad News Bears their first loss of the year.
Yeah, and that was a huge win. So now you know, they had a sole possession of first place with a 6-game winning streak. But that was very short-lived because the Bears jumped all over Max Shadid the second game, and basically Eddie Michon, interesting story, been hammering the ball, and you know, they actually walked Eddie Rishti to load the bases to pitch to Eddie Michon. He had a monster home run after that, and was very animated running around the bases. And
really,
yeah, you know, he's got, you know, you talk about guys with a chip on the shoulder this year. He's one of them.
Yep.
5th round, I think he's you know, he's letting people be known about that.
Unbelievable.
So they had a 7-0 lead, but you know, it was 7-1, and the what was the final score of the game? 8-1. And but the Bears did not give up. They scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 7th to make it 8-5, and I had the tying run on with 2 outs, and I believe Leon Sakal was up at the end of the game with a lineup. But so they fought back and they made a game out of it. Big games on the day. We got to talk about. They might have found themselves a short center fielder. The Bears position. Louis the Lip Massery.
I said it at the draft. This kid is an athlete. I said it at the draft. He's the fastest kid in the world. And he's very good in football. He's good in other sports. Yeah. I'm telling you, this guy's an athlete.
Now, he made 4 plays that were unbelievable. 2 double plays at short center.
Wow.
And so they might have found a position for him full time and put Victor Dweck in right field, where he really shores up the defense in right. And you know.
But then where does that put Charles Sack?
Charles Sack is
odd man out.
He could be a DH, or you know, maybe he'll still play short center one game, or he could even play right. And Victor, I don't know. Victor's got he can play any position.
By the way, we didn't discuss, and our phone number 732-5YMSL. Right. So call in if you have anything to say. We didn't discuss it. The trade deadline came and went.
Oh, yes.
I expected the Bears to acquire some sort of pitcher better than what they have. They have a lot of pitchers on the team, but no one that they seem that confident in. But I guess they're going with Nemi.
Well, you know, they had a lot of hitters. Everybody was looking for offense, and they had a lot of depth. They could have given up somebody.
Exactly, their lineup is stacked.
Yeah, they could have given up somebody, but I guess they had faith in that Nemi's going to get the job done. Also, you know, teams are, you know, the big contractors, nobody really wants to eat any salary.
Well, with the luxury tax and everything, I understand that. But this team now with Louis Massery playing, and Victor Dweck saying he's going to possibly go to right. Now they have Charles Sacker, who could play right.
Right.
A lot of teams could use an outfielder. I played a bunch of teams that could use a good right fielder, you know? So it seems like there's a move that could have been made here or there, especially we have some disaster teams, which I'm sure we'll get to soon, down in Miami. I
don't know. The truth is, they could even picked up Awabe on the cheap. A 12th round pick. You know, he would have got a full-time job with a team like this. He might have been unbelievable. But you know, there's a lot of captains who, you know, they'll trade their 8th round pick and ask for your 1st round pick. I mean, they're very unreasonable captains over here also. So. But we didn't really hear any really trades that were close to being.
No, but the Hurricanes seemed to be having a fire sale and then didn't make any moves. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if they didn't get a good offer or if he thought his team could rebound. I don't know.
Well, yeah, they made a couple of trades that were not really going to help. I mean, there was a lot of rumor about Nathan Zolta for Leo Pachota, but I don't think that was like a trade that was really going to,
right,
make or break. I don't know if was there any serious considerations for Gindey on the trade, but I'm sure you would have to give up a lot, so maybe teams, decided against it. But that's a big problem. And now all of a sudden you have to give up something to get a pitcher. You lose a bat. I can't believe the Bears. Like, I know your team. I don't know if there's any serious considerations. Like a tight knit group. I don't know if anybody was.
We barely got any calls. We got like one call. I don't think anyone wants anything to do with our guys. But
I mean, you have a guy like a Ralph Cheer could definitely be an outfielder.
He's unbelievable. He could be an outfielder
right?
for sure. Nobody called about him.
First baseman, outfield. He's hitting good, probably usually around 500 every year. So, David Richey's another guy for mind-boggling.
How this guy goes in the 7th round, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
7th is actually high for him. He was like an 8th, 9th for like years.
It's crazy.
I know.
We've batted him 2nd or 5th all year.
He's just one of these guys that are labeled as 8th, 9th.
Why? It's amazing.
There's certain guys, Saban's 3rd, like 4th, like 20 years in a row.
And Richey, you could tell him playing short center or right field or pitching or first base. Doesn't care where he's playing. Great team player.
He's had a great bat.
Unbelievable bat. He's a perfect guy to have on your team.
Yeah. So, at that point, it's a steal in that round. So you're going to need a lot of depth. All right. So anyway, the Bears regained first place with
they held on to it.
Yeah. Well, they were like a half a game behind after the first game, and the Exit 105 sitting very pretty at 6-2. They got to be very happy about that.
Exit 105. We always, Maxi Deep seems to be very comfortable with this team. A lot of good leaders on that team. That's a very, very strong team. They seem to have everything in place right now.
They're very, very solid. The only problem I have with that is just the bottom of the lineup is just extremely weak. So, if the guys at the top aren't producing, you look at the averages, it's weak. So they're gonna if the defense has an off week, they're gonna really be
Yeah. I mean, they have. By the way, Elliot Patesh only batting .333. I checked the archives. He has not batted that low since 1982 when he was captain of the Woodstock team.
Oh, wow.
With RVJ playing short center that year.
That's interesting.
I don't know if you know or our viewers know, but Max Sutton has unveiled an archive of videos this past couple of weeks of old YMSL footage.
Right.
That's unbelievable. I've seen...
It's converted to DVD. We're actually going to put it on the YMSL website.
It is unbelievable. I've seen very small clips. I've seen Rabbi Raymond Beda both striking out and hitting a double. I've seen my father, a lot of these old guys, Storefront, Stevie Shalom, Elliot Casson, may rest in peace. All these guys, unbelievable footage.
Converted from VHS to DVD, and the clarity is amazing.
Awesome stuff.
Games. And you see some of the current YMSL guys in their prime. Nathan Towell, Jackie Haddad.
Yes.
19, 20 years old.
The clip I saw, Jackie Haddad was wearing bright yellow sweatpants. You couldn't miss him from a mile away. Sharing a glove with a guy on a different team.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Nobody had baseball pants back then. People wore shorts. It's unbelievable stuff.
Yeah.
So looking
and
forward.
The bases, I saw one. The bases were like this high. They were like
bases were this high. In one of them, like second base was like a T-shirt.
No lines. No line. Yeah, look like a pillow at first base.
Right. Pinch runners could be like anyone that showed up to watch the game. They could run pinch runners.
But ironically, we talked that the rules were in those days, I believe, before 1983 was 2 swings.
2 swings.
And they even had a rule that the pitch was too fast. You weren't allowed to.
Yes, you could not pitch fast, and it was 2 swings. If you foul, strike 2 back, you're done.
Yeah. I remember I used to go to that was too fast, and the ump would call,
Right, the ump would make a decision if it's too fast or not. I'm sure that would fly now.
Too fast. I mean, you look at the pictures in those days, that you don't understand why. You had Al Fallis, you had Morris Mystery guy.
Every guy a classic human being also. And the wooden bats.
Elway.
Oh,
yeah, for sure. So That's why we bring anybody who has pictures, by the way, old team pictures. I don't know if your father has any, but send them out. We post them.
I meant to bring it with me today. I have a Baders Raiders T-shirt, authentic.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you had a team picture.
No, I don't have
That
a
was
team
Raymond
picture,
Beta.
but yeah.
Pre-Rabbi Raymond Beta.
Yeah. He's wearing short shorts.
Yeah. It was, there's definitely characters from those early days, and let's not. And if you ever look at team pictures, it was like 14 guys on the team.
Yeah.
It was like,
And always like a kid is with them. You know, like there's always a 3-year-old in every picture.
he might have been playing also. 14 guys on the team, and they had 14 teams. Amazing how many guys were like in the league.
Great
and
stuff.
Hundreds of people watching. It was.
That's what it was. The crowds were amazing.
Yeah, and they used to have early games like morning, and then late afternoon games like.
I wish we could do that. I wish we could get a one game a week.
Yeah.
It's the afternoon game that everyone shows up to.
Yeah.
But who knows?
We'll get it there. We're up to 9. We'll see. We'll get it
Right.
to 12.
All right, back to current day.
Now let's shoot over to Meadowbrook, and
is that the scene of the crime here? The 33 runs.
Yeah. Now this. Of course, unfortunately, this game was blacked out, so nobody really. Our fans.
Well, that's fortunate for Gindi and the Hurricane. Actually,
the game was blacked out, and there was actually no ushers at the game. It was just terrible situation. We had the 1-5 Pirates versus the 1-5 Hurricanes, and obviously somebody was unless they split, but the Hurricanes brought the Pirates brought their bats this week. And before we even start about the Pirates, we want to have the special shout out to Ralph Hannon, who as everybody knows, been documented in the media. He went on a list to give his kidney about a year ago to donate his kidney, and he got a call last week. And he went for surgery yesterday, and I'm happy to say it was successful, and the recipient is also doing well, and Ralph's doing well. He's going to probably miss 2 to 3 weeks, but a feel-good story from one of the members of the YMSL, and everybody should be proud that
really unbelievable
that he's part of this league.
Really unbelievable! What a sacrifice! Literally saving somebody's life.
That a stranger, no less.
So great job by Ralph, and hopefully the league will commemorate this at the award ceremony this year, and do something special. Great job.
We'll talk about that, even though this game we're not getting to this game yet. But anyway, so now this game was incredible. You talk about offense. We got an update in the first inning. It was 7-6.
Right. Right. I was actually with you. You were at my game when we got this update. Someone called it 7-6.
It said 7-6, bottom 1.
Right.
It was 12-6, bottom 2. It was crazy. And, we're saying, Gindi must be getting teed off. But, we spoke to some of the players and the few fans that were there. And ironically, Gindi was actually pitching pretty good, as they said.
I'm surprised you say that, because I heard the same thing, and I didn't believe it when I heard it. I wasn't there. I look at 33 runs, and I say Gindi got rocked. But people are saying infield. Sammy Towell told me he has the best infield in the league.
Right.
From Daniel Towell, John Eliezer, RB on second base, and Sammy at first. I forgot who's at short center. He told me it's the best. Oh, Zvi at short center. Solid infield team.
On paper, for sure.
Now I'm hearing that every guy had 3 errors or something in this game. In the first game, which was 22-6.
Yeah.
So I guess they went for 2 after the third touchdown.
And it was mercied, so it could have been much worse. It was,
But what's funny is what you said. It was 7-6 after the first inning. It was a close game.
Yeah. Well, if you want to look at it like that, it was 0-0 before it started.
That's true, too.
So it was still the game. But, they just exploded on Gindi. Eddie Hakeem with a couple of home runs. Jaime Shama, he's with all his extra gas and his demands and his stuff, he's having an outstanding year.
It seems like once he put all that stuff to the side, he's focusing and having a great year. Maybe he could have had this great year for the last few years.
Yeah, we always knew the guy is a great fielder. But he's putting offensive numbers now. Let's say he's like a 450 hitter.
Unbelievable.
A couple of home runs, hitting triples. So now you have him, and they had a full team this week with Jordy and Joe Chira they could be they needed a sweep badly. I mean that.
Well, one of these teams needed to sweep. A split would have been completely useless for both of them and a waste of time. I thought the Hurricanes were going to sweep. I was obviously dead wrong once again, as usual. It was 33-10, so I wasn't even close. You did say that the Pirates would sweep.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they're going to have their full team now, and we'll see if they can make a run here.
Yeah, well, this was a great start. Got him right into the thick of things. So, it was definitely something. And then the Hurricanes, we're going to talk about them a little bit right after we get back from a word from our sponsors.